Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hot in Talks. You're joined tonight by me, Scott, Jamie, and Nathan. Boys, you okay?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Nathan, you well?
Very well, thanks, Scott. Very well. Good to be back.
Nathan, thanks for coming. Obviously, you're like the regular guest outside the three of us now. So, and
is that what? This is my third time now, yeah? Third time, I think.
Fourth, I don't know, yeah.
Fourth, yeah. Who's counting?
And we thought it would be good to get someone that's actually going out to Turkey as well, which helps. And obviously you are, and we'll get to that. We are looking ahead to the Europa League final on Wednesday. Freiburg, obviously away for us in Istanbul. If we were having this conversation, let's say 5 years ago, and I said to both of you, we're going to be in the Europa League final, what would you have said? I'll come to you first, Nate, but on that question.
5 years ago, no.
Pre-Emery, I'd say.
Pre-Emery, yeah. I would say no, 100% no. And I remember because I was at the Fulham away game, like Gerrard's last game, where we just got pelted 3-0. I think Dougie got sent off or someone got sent off, and we were just giving it to him, and it was just awful. It was awful. So yeah, for 5 years. 5 years later to be in the Europa League and then qualifying for the Champions League already. Yeah, like no chance. I would never have thought that.
Yeah. Jay, what about you? It's a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it was 5 years ago, I think we still had Jack then, so I probably would have thought he would have stayed and he probably would have guided us to here. But yeah, it's taken a very weird journey to how we got here. Like Nath was saying, you look at that. I think it was 3-0 that Fulham game, wasn't it? And you thought,
yeah.
A million miles away.
Yeah.
And the next appointment had to be right because the Gerrard one was just Perslow's mate, really, wasn't it? And
yeah,
the next one had to be right, and it couldn't have been more right. I don't think there's another manager in the world off the top of my head that I can think of that would get us in a better position than what we were. We basically have the same squad as, obviously we'll touch on Liverpool a little bit, but the team that beat Liverpool 7-2, you look at that team that started, a lot of those players are still with us and started on Friday. So it's mad, really, the transition we've had with basically the same players. And yeah, it's their last opportunity for those group of players to win something as a collective, because we know the average age, I think, against Liverpool is the third highest or in the Premier League history. Our lineup against Liverpool, starting 11, it was just below 30, I think. So to have that, you look at Ty, Emmy, Luca Dean, say, for example, you replace them through with people that are 25 and under, that's probably, by the sounds of it, the mould of what we're going at. So yeah, definitely the last sort of chance these players have to win something as a group.
It's now kind of, do you cement yourself in Villa folklore forever, or do you go down as
cult heroes?
Yeah, probably then like Martin O'Neill's era. But...
yeah, I think we talked about this in the last time I was on. I was like, yeah, like we were talking about our favourite players, weren't we? Like, your Angels, your Ashley Youngs, and Gareth Barrys, and all of them, and they're all brilliant players, and they've done great for us, but they're cult heroes because they didn't bring anything back. They never won anything. So, and this will be the difference between this group of players and some of the really good teams that we've had in the past. And we've had some good teams, we just haven't been able to get over the line. So this will be the difference. And there was a thing on X this morning, actually. There was a couple of fans that were saying, does McGinn eclipse Jack Grealish in terms of Jack is the player that pretty much got us promoted? Does McGinn, if he comes home with a trophy, does he eclipse? And it's not even a debate. Like, as far as it's not even a question. McGinn is closer to getting a statue than Jack, got anywhere near it. Like, it's not even up for debate.
I think if we were to win the Europa League, I generally think in time you'll probably get a statue, not while they're current serving, I don't think, but says in time, probably get a statue of both Emery and McGinn together with the trophy or something like that, because them two have been the cornerstone, really, haven't they, of what's been going on? Let's be real.
And this is the type of circumstances now where, you know, people, and rightly so, like people are talking McGinn as captain as, you know, better than Paul McGrath and people like that. And like Paul McGrath's won, you know, he won trophies with us. You know what I mean? So they're now in that bracket potentially, and obviously conversations are happening, and rightly so, because, you know, McGinn especially, because I think that's the difference between him and many of our other captains, and, you know, Andy Townsend's and the McGraths of the world, and all of that, is that he was part of that squad that people keep louding Jack about in terms of getting us promoted. He was part of that team. He scored in the player final, as we all know. He's there. He's been there and done it. He's kind of dragged us really to where we are now. So I think people are right to say, look, he could be up there as probably one of our greatest ever, if not our greatest ever captain, if he comes back with a trophy on Thursday. So yeah, that's how big it is.
Sorry, you wouldn't put it past McGinn scoring on Wednesday either. If you look at, like you said, he scored in the playoff final. I think we've had this conversation before as well, but he scored in the playoff final. He scored against PSG when we needed him to score. Do you know what I mean? You think this season he got the first goal this season when we couldn't bloody score for 5 games? Was it? We didn't.
Yeah.
You know, he scored the first goal of the season.
First goal back in the Prem.
Different. The first guy at Tottenham, he always comes up in big moments. I think you could tell by Emery's reaction to his goal on Friday. The coat was off. He was swinging. You know, there's obviously a massive mutual respect between the two, and I can't remember someone's song getting sung as much as McGinn's song gets sung. If you're with me there still.
Yeah.
As much as his song gets sung at Villa Park, you know, it's pretty much the first song that always gets sung by everybody all the time.
Yeah.
And I think he has to be in cult status. Even if he doesn't lift the trophy, I think he's still in that conversation. But if he was to lift it, I think he elevates himself because of his whole journey to right at the very top. And I don't think anyone can deny him that.
No. And I think, because of the legendary status of like winning the trophy, and obviously like it's going to be a tough game, and I know we're going to talk about it. But if so I'm not I'm not saying it like we are going to win it. You know, it's going to be tough, but we still sing about Paul McGrath now. You know what I mean? And I know I'm like putting him in that bracket, but people refer to Paul McGrath as God. You would think McGinn, like in 10 years' time, that's how he would be referred, and people would still be singing his song like we do with Paul McGrath, and like we do every game. We still sing about Paul McGrath every single game, and that's the level that he could potentially be in terms of just being one of the absolute best players we've ever had.
He's so underrated as well, isn't he? Like, no one ever puts him in. If you look at like combined 11s, when we play against Arsenal or whatever, they'll do a combined 11 and they'll say McGinn ain't in there. I'm being serious. I'd rather have McGinn playing on the right wing instead of Saka. Partially because I don't rate Saka, but also McGinn is absolutely class. There's no denying how great of a player John McGinn is, and it's the name. When you say John McGinn, people think, it's just a joker. Like, he's underrated, but he ain't like that good. He's like a bit of like a class clown, but he is. At the Liverpool game, when Rodgers scored, I think the commentator said something along the lines of, the commentator said something along the lines of, Villa's best player, coming to light again after his purple patch in the winter. And I'm like, that's what the media think. The media and the people that aren't that clued up with Villa would just look at it and think, Morgan's obviously Villa's best player. Some Villa fans might think that as well. A lot of them say like Kamara, but McGinn is in that conversation for me. I'd rather have McGinn there's a few others, but I'd rather McGinn starting than Rodgers. I'd rather McGinn starting than anyone, to be fair. The levels he's putting up at the minute, like Scott, you said about the goals he's scored in clutch moments for us, it's unbelievable, and he's different to at home than away from home. I don't know if you've noticed. It feels like when he's at home, he has that, he's automatically in that, sixth gear, whereas away from home, it's like a bit more conservative, but he's it's unbelievable the levels of the performances that he's putting up. They're ridiculous at the minute.
that's a bit of a hot take to compare him to Saka, but
he's better than Saka.
I'm not. We'll let other people debate that one. I ain't getting involved in that.
He's better than Saka.
But what I will say, I mean, that's a different conversation. But he can be McGinn in his own way, like unplayable in terms of.
He is. He's 100%. And like it's like I've had this conversation as well with people as well. And when you think about it, I'm telling you, McGinn's better than Saka.
Listen, I love McGinn, and I think the thing is, when it comes to Wednesday in particular, if McGinn plays well, Villa will play well, and
yes, yeah. So I see what you're saying, Jamie. Something to cut. Like he's more important player for us than Saka is for Arsenal, 100%. Like there's no debate.
If that's how you want to word it, Nathan, you word it like that.
I will, yeah. I will word it like that.
Yeah.
In terms of Wednesday, then we'll touch on Freiburg, but we'll start with Villa first. Are we expecting the lineup from the first and the second leg against Forest? The one player I'll throw into the mix is if Onana is fit, does he come in for Lindelof? Whoever wants to take that.
Go on, Nathan.
Oh
no! Go on, Nathan.
I would actually, because of the momentum, I wouldn't necessarily start him because he's coming back from injury. I mean, I don't know how often he's been training, how much fit he is, and actually the Iceman's been really good. I got to be honest, like he's been thrown in that midfield. And he's done a great job. He has done a great job, and I think what he's allowed probably McGinn and Tielemans really to do is push forward a little bit more and be a bit more active in that side of the game. So I don't know. I'm dodging the answer here, but I wouldn't be upset if Onana doesn't start and the Horseman is in because of the momentum that we've built on those last two games and the way that he's played, personally.
Yeah, I hate to admit this, but prior to the Forest semi-final, and Jay will know this, in our Villa chat that we've got with like my dad and Jay's dad, we're talking lineups, and Aaron said Lindelof centre midfield, and me and Jamie were like, "Don't be so stupid. He's never going to try it." Blah blah blah. And obviously now it seems like a masterstroke, and I hate admitting Aaron is right, but I'll give him his flowers on that one. And I think you're right in terms of it comes down to, I agree, how fit is Onana.
Yeah.
I don't think Lindelof will last the whole game in that role, and you can obviously mix it up, but I don't think there's been much word about team news yet or anything like that. So we're still kind of in the unknown category. What's he missed? 4 games? Onana 3 games. So I see he got called up to the Belgian World Cup squad. Obviously, that's further down the line. But Jay,
and a caveat to that, like, sorry, Jamie, but if Onana was fully fit and like we were, talking like mid-season, like it wouldn't be a question. Like Onana would be starting. So it's also circumstances as well, but and also obviously as well as the Iceman playing really well the last 2 games.
Yeah, Jay, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll play Lindelof. I love him. I think he's one of my favourite players. He ain't had a bad game for us from what I can remember. He's always played well. Just steady every week, 7 or 8 out of 10. Obviously, both fully fit. You're going to pick Onana, but Lindelof is getting in the swing of things. Onana's going to be coming back from injury. Ideally, you probably have Lindelof for 65, 70, and then you put in, if Onana can, you then put Onana on alongside Tielemans to control it. I'd start the exact same team against Forest. I think they earned the right to start in that final. I think, I think you said, Nath, I think having Lindelof in there allows Tielemans to just be a bit more. I mean, him and Onana have been playing great anyway. Like the connection between them two is very good. You can see it with them, and that when they play for Belgium as well. I think I saw them against Wales near the start of the season. I watched and Tielemans and Onana. It was when Tielemans was injured and he went to Belgium and started playing for Belgium out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And started playing 90 minutes for them. And they played that game in Cardiff, I think it was, and the chemistry between them two is class. So you can get an on to see out the game, hopefully, or even if we're chasing it. But I would start Lindelof, bring Onana on. Like I said, Scotty, he ain't gonna do the full 90. So yeah, bring Onana on when Lindelof starts getting tired.
Yeah, I don't actually, for me, I don't think there's any other question marks about any other place in the starting 11. Obviously, I've said it all season, and I've been proved wrong about Buendia. I still don't think he's the answer, but he's played his way into the starting 11. So I'll hold my hands up on that one. I think he deserves to start, and you'd have McGinn, Rodgers. The back four picks itself because I don't think Matson's done enough. Obviously, Powell and Konsa are nailed on like Kashi. We'll have a little talk about Ollie Watkins because I thought he was so good on Friday. Like, I'm not Kanate's biggest fan, but he made Kanate look so bad.
He was brilliant. He was like back to his very best. Against Liverpool.
Since that March, obviously international break, he's got a proper rocket up his arse. We know he's a streaky player, but if he plays like that, like he did Friday on Wednesday, I don't care who you are as a defender, we've got a hell of a chance of winning it just based on how well he played. And everyone else played well Friday. Like, I'm not taking that away, but if Ollie's leading the line and he plays like that, what's the chance we've got?
Yeah, like it's good. It's good timing. You know what I mean? I know it's a final; everyone should be up for it. But the players, we've had ups and downs all season, really, and it's when those key players aren't ticking, the spine of the team aren't ticking, then that's when we really struggle. But right now, the whole spine of that team is ticking. We talk. We've talked a lot about McGinn. We've mentioned Watkins. I think Emmy's been back to his, generally speaking, his best in goal. And Konsa on Friday, I just thought, I love him when he's like that because he's a cavalier kind of defender. It's just like nothing was touching him. He was winning everything. So that to me is now like our spine of the team. Whether it changes next season, but right now that is the spine of the team, and every single one of them are ticking right now. So that puts us in a great opportunity. Whoever we're playing, you're right. When those players are ticking, then everything else just seems to fit into place for me.
Yeah, I agree. Going on Freiburg then. I mean, do either of you two know much about Freiburg before I touch on them?
I know you've got a couple of good players. That's literally it.
Yeah, I watched them because they also won 4-1. Well, I know we won 4-2. They also won 4-1, and I happened to watch that. But that's the first time I've ever seen any of them.
I watched the first leg against Braga, just one half of it, because they actually played on the Wednesday, I think. The first leg. I watched that, and then the second leg, I saw the highlights for, and then I saw a little bit of their game against Leipzig as well. The only things I know about them is they love a cross because they love a cross. They got a Croatian striker who's about 6'4", 6'5", and he wins everything in the air. Like I says, you can look at the Leipzig game. You can see they love a cross. Obviously, they're aiming for him every time. So that would be something that I'll be a bit wary of, because if you look at all our centre halves available, obviously it's going to be Torres and Ezri starting. Them two are probably our weakest box defenders. If you look at Lindelof and Mings, them two are probably our best box defenders. And obviously Lindelof's going to be in the middle of the park, and obviously Torres is going to start ahead of Mings. So that's something that I'll be wary of. And but probably their player of the season for me has been he plays in the 10. He's a young Swiss player. He's called Mozambique, I think his name. Is it Mozambique?
And Zambi.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, that's it. Yeah. And he scored against Braga in the second leg at their place. Good goal, actually. And yeah, that's one you got to watch because he seems to be their magic man. Things go through him. So, whether it be Lindelof or Onana, they're going to have to do a good job on him because, you know, if you give him time, then that's where they get their joy. Obviously, they like to play him central as a 10, kind of by himself. So, I mean, we have two DMs, so whether it be Tielemans or Lindelof/Onana, hopefully they can kind of marshal him, keep him quiet, restrict the crosses as best as we can. Or even it might be when they've worked out wide, not to get too tactical into it, but you know what we done against Forest, where from deep, Lindelof will kind of sit on Ezri's toes or Torres' toes for Wood. When that ball goes out wide, it might be like McGinn or whoever drops into Lindelof's position. Lindelof is then dropping into a centre half position just to give him more cover for when those balls come in, because that's my biggest worry, the crosses into the big striker. So, but apart from that, I don't know a great deal about him. I know the goalie's a bit out there, not Emmy level, but he's a young German goalie. I think he's like another version of Martinez, I think. But apart from that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know a great deal. Only 3 players I know about. That's it.
They've got Ginter, who plays at the back, haven't they? He's German international.
Yeah.
Quite experienced.
Eggestein in the middle of the park.
Yeah. Going back to your point about the centre forward, I think obviously that Forest, the game that Lindelof first played in there, he did the shielding job so well that I think that is another positive for Lindelof getting the nod, even if Onana is fit, because Chris Wood didn't get a kick in that game.
No.
I'm not going to say that I've seen loads of Freiburg. I watched the Braga games, and stuff like that. Saw the result against Leipzig. I think Leipzig were 3rd in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that was a dead rubber for Leipzig. I think Freiburg, they had to cement 7th, but for Leipzig, I don't think they could go up or down. I don't think.
No, so they're currently 7th, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah. I think I think they've locked in 7th because that was their last game of the season. And Leipzig couldn't go up or down. They still played a strong team, but obviously when you're in the mindset of, well, this is a nothing game, they're not gonna want to get injured for the World Cup. So whether that has a factor to play, I'm not sure.
True. Good point.
They've had 13 wins, 13 defeats, and 8 draws in the league. 51 or 57 against them. It's not like out of this world form, and the gap between them and 6th in Germany is 12 points. I know you can't compare the leagues, but I think this is their first proper final. I don't think they've ever made it to a major final before.
They've made it to a domestic final, but no European one, no.
Yeah, and in terms of their players, the centre forward that you mentioned, Mantovic, I think he's a top scorer.
Yeah.
11. But down the list, then the next top goal scorer is on like 5 or 6. I don't think I know they've put 4 past Leipzig on Saturday, but I don't think they're massive scorers. And Villa, if we can get our noses in front, and I always say it with Villa, we're so much better once we've scored first. And yeah, let's just hope that obviously we can get our noses in front and keep them at bay. The big player in all of this is obviously Emery, which we have and they don't have. This will be going for his 5th time winning.
Go for his 5th Europa League and it's his 6th final. His 7th final, because he lost one with Arsenal, didn't he?
Lost one with Arsenal. So, I mean, that is the one thing that... Do you think he will approach it prime Emery away from home with sitting in to nick it? Or do you think he will approach it similar to how we approach Forest and Liverpool, where we're on the front foot, we're aggressive, everyone seems to be bang up for it within the first 5-10 minutes? I know we've said on our Villa chat, we're much better when we do it like that. But I've seen enough Emery matches now as a Villa manager to know I wouldn't be surprised if we're sitting in, we're tight, we're trying to nick one in the second half. How do you two think he'll go with that? Because we've had some good results when we've gone.
Yeah, it depends really, because I went to obviously I've watched every Europa game, like the away ones, but I went to Lille and I watched that. I went to that game and it was exactly as you said. Like we were kind of weren't really holding on. We were comfortable, and then we kind of nicked that Watkins goal. and then we could have got like 2 or 3 more, especially when McGinn came on, and it kind of like settled us after, but we was kind of like waiting for them to come and then pushing on the break. So, and because this is technically an away game against a European team, you wouldn't be surprised if that's how we start. However, again, coming in with the momentum that we're in, and the last, against Forest and Liverpool, especially, I don't know whether the players would be able to do that. I understand. Obviously, I think that's probably wrong me saying that, but I think they will naturally want to take the game to them as well, potentially, just because of the way that we've played and the momentum that we're in. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but I think if I'm thinking with my head more than my heart, I think we will go at it like it's a typical Europa League away game and kind of see, and then test the waters first and try and nick a goal, and then hopefully then control the game.
That's how I see it, to be honest with you. I think that's how we're...
Yeah, no. It's not going to be good for any fan in the stadium, because everyone's like, I'm already nervous as it is, so that's not going to be great, to be honest with you.
Jay, are you thinking the same as us too, or are you just thinking we'll just go with how we've been playing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd want them to go for it, but I know deep down we ain't going to go for it. Let's be real. Every European away game, even a neutral grounds against Palace at Wembley, we don't go for it. You look at any final, really. The finals are usually boring games because, there's a lot at stake, but nothing really happens. I think that's why everyone loved the World Cup final, the last one, because, when do you ever get a high score in final? You don't really, unless there's another team smashing another, like PSG against Inter. It's always usually a cagey affair, because it's like a game of chess. Who's going to blink first, and I think we're going to be conservative, try and nick it or whatever, and then kind of see how the game goes. And if we start getting on top, then we might kind of step to them a bit. But to start off with, that first 15-20 minutes is going to be boring, I think, anyway. From Freiburg side as well, they're going to be thinking the same thing, not make mistakes. Players are going to be nervous. We've never been in this situation before, players wise. They've never been in a situation before with them, so you're in a situation where it's like, what do we kind of do here? No one really has that DNA of, if this was if we were United in this situation, you're being like, okay, well, we're United, whatever we do, we'll end up winning. Where it is here, it's like we're in unknown territory here for, like, in the grand scheme of things. I know we won a European trophy, but we're going back 44 years. So yeah, I think we're just going to sit back and be really cagey. And I don't think it's going to be a great game. Like I said, finals never really are. But you'll be waiting for that one bit of quality, which I think I spoke to you about, Scott. I don't know if it was at the Forest game when I said about Morgan. And I was saying, it might have been with Azzy, actually. I said, Morgan was probably, everyone played well against Forest, but if I had to pick somebody who I thought, like, if I had to pick a worst player, it's probably like Morgan, who was like an 8 out of 10, but everyone else was 10 out of 10 or whatever. But he was quiet the whole game until he gets the chance, and he puts Ollie through for the offside goal, and it's like, no one else in our team can play that pass, and it's like, that's what it's going to come down to. I was talking about their number 10, the young lad from Switzerland. Everything goes through him, so it's going to rely on him doing that bit of magic. It's going to rely on us for Tielemans to make that, that pass. Getting Rodgers in that position, and he might give it away every single phase of play like he usually does. But if he's the only player that can, on the edge of the box, give us that bit of magic, and that's what I think it will come down to. Where we have the quality through Powell from deep, and we have obviously Tielemans as well on transition. When we have Rodgers around the box, that's where I think the difference will come, because it will be cagey and you're just going to rely on talent in certain situations. And there's no doubt that we have more talent than them. Of course, they pose a threat. I'm not saying they don't, but yeah, if we can just get that a little bit of quality, it will show through, because, like I said, it'll be a really, really tight game.
Yeah, you want your finals, you want your big players to turn up. I think you saw it.
Well, this is it, yeah. You either run or, yeah.
Haaland although he didn't score, he made the goal for Semenyo, the ball across. We're going to need Rodgers to be on song. He just needs to produce one bit of quality. Watkins to take a chance when he gets nothing stupid like we did in the first leg with like Luka Dean and the handball against Forest. Like, you don't want to, no players sent off in the first 10 minutes, no stupid giving away a penalty or anything like that. You need your good players to play well. And hopefully that's enough to see you through. We touched on it at the start. Nath, you are going out there.
Yes, mate.
Do you want to talk us through what the plan is? We obviously know, but you can tell it.
Yeah, I fly out tomorrow night. So yeah, I was one of those people that took a gamble. When we got through the quarters against Bologna, literally I got back home after the game, and I booked my flight and I booked my hotel, so I got it like a decent rate. And so yeah, so I'm going straight from London straight over to Istanbul. Land fairly late on, I say like the Tuesday morning. The hotel that I've got is, I think, in an Uber anyway. It's saying on the Google Maps anyway, it's about a 15-minute Uber. But we've just got through the kind of like fans guide for the next couple of days, and where the Villa fan zone is, it's open from like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's about a 10-minute walk from the stadium. So from what I'm seeing, and what I'm speaking to with a few people that I know that are going over, we'll be there early doors. We'll be there from like 10 o'clock, and we probably won't move until it's time to take a walk to the stadium. And then I fly back. Yeah, all being well, not all being well. I fly back like late morning on the Thursday. So it's whether it's going to be an all night and I'll just suck it up, or whether I'll get a few hours sleep or not. But depending on how the game goes, I guess. But yeah, that's the plan. So it is kind of in and out. I know there's a lot of fans that are already there right now, which is great. But yeah, I'm kind of like spending a couple of days there and then straight back out pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic for going over. I think I said to you, I've spoke to a couple of other people that have reached out to me and said, "Oh, you're going to Istanbul? You're going to Istanbul?" I'll be watching it at my dad's. Yeah, Jay, you'll know what I mean. Just think if we win it, I've got to be with watching it with my dad. I'd regret it if not.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And my dad's a Chelsea fan, so I haven't got that thing to go. But yeah, it's a bollocks to him, to be fair. Yeah. But you're not the only one. There's a lot of like fans that are going into Birmingham that probably would have come, but again, like family and stuff like that. This is the first time, in our lifetime anyway, that we've experienced it, and you've got to be around the people that have, got the opportunity to witness or be part of 82 and like share that with them. So yeah, that'll be brilliant as well. That'll be just as good, I think.
It's obviously, when you break it down, I know obviously Jay's slightly younger, but it's a whole generation of supporters that haven't seen Villa win anything. We're living off a playoff final, and it sounds ridiculous, really. You've got everyone else, especially down south where we are, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Arsenal. They've all won something. And just to see Villa win a major trophy I think we all agree, you can't really put it into words. There'll be different emotions. There'll be different. You'll be thinking of different things. It's not to be expected, like we said at the start. 5 years ago, you'd never expect it. Even when Emery first took over, you're not really thinking we're going to be fighting on Champions League and getting into European finals. Like I said, it's a whole generation of supporters that haven't seen it, and just hope and pray that they can obviously get through. Villa shouldn't be going that long without winning a trophy. It's 30 years since obviously the League Cup. There's not a chance.
But there's something weird. It's not. I don't know how to explain it, but like, because I wasn't born. I was born in '84. So I know I'm older than both of you. But I was 2, so I didn't have a clue about the European Cup until I was later on, when I started proper going, when I was 10, 11. And it always seemed to me like it was what it was. It's another part of Villa that none of us have ever experienced. And you talk to people about 82 and people draw on it. This is the kind of level that it could be. And the fact and because I got the opportunity to go to Istanbul, I'm like, well, you know, you want to be one of those people, whether at the ground or if you're in Istanbul and you're not going to the game or you're at home with your family. This is like once in a lifetime experiences for all of us as fans, because we've never done it outside of 82, and that's why I think it's a bigger trophy, obviously, because it's a European Cup compared to the League Cup and the FA Cup and, you know, whatever. But I think there's something a bit more special about it as well, because it is a European final and it is the first time in years that we've got a really good chance. I know we've made FA Cup finals in the past, but to be frank, we've had no chance, you know, against that Arsenal team that absolutely we was never going to beat Arsenal on that day. So I think it's like a little bit of a dream, I think, now, because it is a European final for me. It just sits kind of above. It'll be just below the 82 for me if we do bring it back of any other trophy that we've ever won or ever witnessed, for me.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, a lot of the people from 82 now, and I don't mean to sound horrible here, but they're obviously a lot older. You know, for me, I was born in 88. I've seen that. I didn't remember the 94 League Cup. I remember the 96. But it's such a distant memory that you can't even, you know, you're not even really thinking about it. But like you said, it's going to, if we do it, it'll be one of them. I was watching it here. I was with this person. It meant this. It meant that. This happened, that happened, this happened. And it will go down. You'll remember it forever. And like you said, we'll probably sit just below 82. I completely agree. But in terms of the next generation, you don't know the next time you get to a final, let alone a European final, win something. Yeah, it will be, you know, you can say whatever narrative you want to use, it will just be a monumental night, and one that probably, it will live long in the memory for every single Villa fan watching it, wherever they're watching it, whether they're in Istanbul, at home, but wherever. It will obviously go down in Villa folklore. And realistically, when do we get a chance, like you touched on the Arsenal final, that you are going in and we genuinely got a chance, a very good chance of winning the final. Don't come around often. For teams like Villa in that kind of bracket, they do not come around often. And that's why I said earlier, you just want your big players to turn up, everyone put a shift in, leave no regrets. You don't want any regrets on come the final whistle.
Because like you say, like we're going in as like favourites, and rightly so, because on our day we'd beat anyone, and the only way I could give you like an example was the same in '96, because our team, like, there was no way we were going to lose against Leeds United, and Leeds United were a decent team back in then, but our team was way better. Like, there was no way, like. And that's the kind of feeling now, and I don't want to start jinxing things, but I've got that kind of feeling, even though the nervous is there, it's exciting. It's not, oh, fucking hell, we're going to get turned over here, like what's happened in the past, or we're going to do the typical Villa, like in semi-finals, and we've all been part of these semi-finals over the last couple of years in particular. Like, I don't have that feeling now. And that, again, it would just that's why I think it's a little bit more like that dream state of that excitement of having a feeling of what it felt like to be in the 82, and then also, and I was still young, I was only like 10 or 11 when 96, but it was that kind of feeling. It's like, nah, man, like, you know, it's that excitement, but we would have to be really bad. We would have to be off our game, I think, to come away and not get a result on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement with that. I know this is a difficult question and probably got some answers, but what would it mean for Villa to win it, Jay? I'll come to you first on that. Just, I don't know, try and sum it up in a minute if we were to win it.
Like you says about it's something that we've been waiting for a generation. You know, it's we'll always talk about 82. That will never ever go. But what we've done with the team so far is it's being spoken about now. The Bayern Munichs, the PSGs, now the Forests. Like, but you look at, you know, years ago with I think the Atletico Madrid one where we bowed out. I think it was Colin Moore, I think, scored a brace. Like, people still talk about that loosely, but everyone talks about 82. In years to come, the games against PSG, Bayern Munich, etc., those will be loosely sort of spoke about in 20 years. If we win on on Wednesday, this will be spoken again for another 44 years, like we speak about the 82 for the previous 44 years. We're favourites, which we weren't in 82. I don't always think we're better when we're favourites, but we are. We can't change that. It's nice that, you know, the European Super Cup back then was a two-legged affair. So on one-off European finals, we're against German opposition again. I love that. It's like a bit of a fairy tale sort of thing. You know, you have the English against the Germans again. If we turn up, we'll be fine. It's just, you know, it's that thing of, well, we play well if McGinn plays well. What happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? And we play anything like we can, and we know what we can, then there's nothing Freiburg can do that can stop us. You know, our best against their best will win. And like you said earlier on, Scotty, 15, 20 minutes ago, we have Emery, which is the biggest factor in any of this. No other manager you want in this competition. He's won it. He's got more wins in the competition. He's got the success he has in this competition is a joke. Like I said, I think it's his sixth or seventh final in here in this competition. So yeah, that's our wild card, if you will. So yeah, I'm bricking it. Don't know what like. I think all of us are like, when you deep it, like, this is, you don't know if you're ever going to get a chance like this. You know, I was trying to say it to my girlfriend, Chrissy. I was like, you don't understand how big this game is. Like, I never thought this would ever come around. And you remember, Scotty, we were always on the drive up, Nath, on the way up to Birmingham, and we were in the Championship. And even when we first got to the Prem, and I always just say to all the other guys when we were shit, and I used to always say, I was like, lads, like, one day we'll be in Europe because we belong there. So one day, when it's got every single time I'd always say, like, look, one day we'll be in Europe, and like, we'll laugh about the Gerrard 3-0, and we'll laugh about losing 2-0 at home to Blues when JJ made his debut, Baggy, sorry. You'll laugh about those times because we've come so far. And like, you look at who we had like Chris Samba and JT at the back. Like, when does that ever happen? And now we've got full-on internationals, world-class players. You've got McGinn, who was part of the team back then. Mings, who was part of the team back then. Tammy, who was part of the team back then. And they're here now in the European final with us. It's mad. And I'm trying to soak it all in. But I'm like, I go through phases. 1 minute I'm nervous, and the next minute I'm excited, and then I'm like dwelling on the past, and then I'm like, it's all just a what ifs, really. But yeah, it's bricking it, absolutely bricking it.
Part of me actually, you've done the best thing, Nath, by going out, because you're just kind of be in that mood of soaking it all up. I can pretty much guarantee there'll be a message on our Villa chat tomorrow from my dad saying I'm shitting it because they've been coming since last Thursday.
Both me and him both put that same message in this morning saying we're bricking it.
Yeah.
So you actually being out there, you're probably soaking it up and maybe not getting so much of a nervous feeling, because I think when you're watching it live, you don't ever feel as nervous.
Yeah, hopefully not. Although, like, I don't know whether I'm just different, but like, when Watkins scored against Forest to make it 1-1, I got to be honest, I was sat down because I thought I was nearly going to throw up. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, honestly, it was shit. Like, here we go. Everyone was jumping on me and stuff like that, and I had to sit down because I thought, all right, now here we go, because I was that nervous. Because again, 1-0, and you see all the shit on X and social media. I was as the nervous I've ever been in a long time for a Villa game, just because I wanted us to do it. And yeah, so I don't know whether I'm just going to be the odd one out. Like,
the trouble is, probably be like 20 pints deep as well.
Probably, mate. Yeah,
you got to make sure you're not too battered as well, because you need to soak it all in, and you don't want to. I don't know if you remember when Villa on tour, when we got promoted, he missed the first El Ghazi goal because he was so battered. He was thrown up in the toilet for the whole of the first half. So you don't want to be in a situation where you don't remember it. Like, you want to. I mean, to be fair, if we get battered, then you do want to be in a situation where you don't remember it. Then you can sink all the points. But no.
Yeah, I think it will be a lot because obviously I think the majority of the fans are going to be over there like on the morning, like on the Wednesday. I think some people will be getting in, obviously, but I think the majority of the fans will be in. I can't remember the name of the square, but something square where we'll be. And I just think it's just going to be like a great atmosphere. And I think you've got people around you, which I think will help. Yeah, rather than the experience that I had against Nottingham Forest where. I was there like 2 hours before the game, but like up until that point, you're working or doing whatever. Like you're pretty much on your own. Like the missus doesn't understand like that kind of thing, respectfully. So I think maybe it will be a little bit better, but right now, I'm like same as you, Jamie. I'm sure you as well, Scott. Like I'm shitting it, really, I'm bricking it.
Do you know? I spoke to my dad at the weekend. He said he's shitting it. Yeah. And do you know what? I'll be honest, I'm not, and I don't know if I'm just trying not to think about it, but. I think it was actually maybe Friday because I said we got football tonight, so I'm just worried about that. And I know the minute I go around there Wednesday to watch it with him, he's going to be up, down. If Villa are 1-0 up in the 5th minute, he'll spend the rest of the bloody 85 minutes in the kitchen not watching. But I think it was going to be a mix of nervousness, excitement, counting down the minutes to kick off. All of the above. Fingers crossed, boys. We can have a conversation next weekend. Not giving a shit about the City game, celebrating a win and celebrating Champions League. And
the next podcast we do, we might just be European champions. Deep that, do you know what I mean? That's mad to say, innit?
Mad to say, and I'm not going to say. I'm not jinxing that.
Brilliant. I've jinxed us then. Fantastic.
Name it all up. Listen, I know that normally we never go against Villa in score prediction, but I'm going to have to take a score prediction from both of you.
1-0 Villa.
Oh, Jay.
I'm going to have to go with my heart rate. 2-0. 2-0 Villa.
Who do you reckon's going to score, no?
I was going to say, go on, let's have a goal scorers.
Watkins and Rodgers, I think.
I think it's destined for McGinn 1-0. I think so, personally. I think, looking back on it, I feel like he's just dragged us to where we've been. Like, not just the Europa League, but the whole process. You know, if he ain't already got a statue, if he scores in this final,
100%.
Or even if he just lifts a trophy, that statue is going to be being built as that goal goes in. Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, the only reason I haven't said McGinn because there's too many things that are just written in the stars. Like you say, it's a German team. We're playing in white. McGinn to score the winner. Like, you know what I mean? It's just all of this. Like, I can't handle it all. So that's
next thing, you'll go off his shin and hit the post.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just like everything's kind of it's in place. So I can't believe that all of it is just there for us. You know what I mean? Like that would be the brilliance, and that would like McGinn to do the winner. But I'm still going to go with Watkins and Rodgers, which I'll be more than happy with, as I'm sure you both
anyone,
will be.
I don't care who scores. Anyone.
Yeah.
What
about you, Scott?
I've put down 3-1, and I've put McGinn and Ollie to score. I just think Ollie's playing so well at the moment. He's got a fire in his belly and in terms of McGinn, I don't think there's one player or not a single supporter. If you could pick one player to score in a final to just cement it, they're all going to pick McGinn.
Yeah.
But I'm in that bracket as well. You don't want to jinx it. You don't want to, you don't want to do something or say something and then you think, fuck, that's going to come back and bite me in the ass. Because we're all so used to bloody typical Villa.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Remember, Jay, when we first said about doing the podcast, we said, should we call it Typical Villa? And hopefully we can break the duck on Wednesday. But like I said earlier, I don't think we'll get a better chance to do it.
No.
You know, these chances don't come around often. We're not a Man City or an Arsenal, Liverpool, things like that.
No, and respect to the trophy, and like we don't want to be in this every season. We want to be in the Champions League every season. and that's what we are next season, and that's what we want to continue to do. Like that's not the standard, but that's where we want to get to. That's the dream, to be a top 4 team, Champions League every year, going for it, and all of that stuff. So even from that, even as seeing it as a progression, not even like, oh yeah, but this is a once in a lifetime. We may not ever get this again. To be honest with you, like, I don't really want to be in the Europa League after this. It's kind of like, you want to be Champions League. We're already talking about, I'd love to have Real Madrid at home or Barcelona away. Like, that's the kind of thing that we want. And
you want to be in European finals, don't you?
Yeah.
And you look 44. Sorry to interrupt. 44 years ago, we were in European final. We won on Wednesday. We got another one in late August, the European Super Cup. All of a sudden, you've gone from not having a European final in 44 years to having 2 in 6 months or whatever, 3 or 4 months. And it's like, that's the level we should be at. And, it's like, we're favourites for this competition. Go and win it. And then whoever we play in the Super Cup, go and win it. And then that puts you on that level where you're then in the League Cup and FA Cup thinking, well, why shouldn't we win it? We've just done like a technically European double. Why can't we then go and compete on all fronts? I know another conversation, whole PSR and stuff, but if everyone's fit, our squad's still fantastic. Why can't we set a new DNA? Because the DNA before Forest was that we're bottlers under Emery. Why can't we change that? Why can't we win on Wednesday? Why can't we beat whoever it is in the European Super Cup? Why can't we then go win a League Cup next year? That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You look what Palace have done. Like, Palace are the blueprint for it. Not won anything, then win 2 trophies in 3 months. Got a European final coming up. They win that. They're in the Europa League, and it's like,
I think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of, I think we said on the last one, you don't really want to be in the Europa League. I think part of me thought, if we don't win, would you rather finish outside the top 5 to get in next year to try and win it again, because you got more of a better chance. You want to win it, cement it, say that chapter's done. Now we're moving on to the next one.
That's the thing, because if we don't make Champions League, like, let's say, I don't know, we're talking like a year now, but if we don't make the Champions League again, like next season, like, you can just see it, like, it'll be, Europa's like a downgrade, like we've regressed, like we've not got any better, all of that stuff, like, you can just see it happening. So this is kind of like, I want it to be the only opportunity we're going to get to win the Europa League, because I want them to go next level, and I want that to be the consistent thing, that like season on season, which I'm sure everyone does. So yeah, that's for me. Like, this is a really, really good opportunity now to bring the trophy back.
Yeah, right. Let's leave it there, lads. I think we've said everything that needs to be said. Nath, have a great time out there. Stay safe.
Cheers, boys. Yeah. Cheers. Sorry you can't be there, mate, but both of you. But I'm glad you'll be watching it with your friends and family. So, but yeah, we'll hopefully like catch up on the podcast after.
100%, mate. If we win.
If we win, yeah. Don't bother calling me if we don't.
Yep. But no, like I said, hopefully, we leave it all out there Wednesday. Everyone goes in and just, does the business, and come Thursday morning, we're just like living on a high for. I said to my missus, it will be like, listen, I love all my kids, but it will be right up there with.
It's a different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. Completely different feeling, and it will be, you'd put it down as one of the best nights of your whole entire life, wouldn't you? So.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we said, typical Villa, and it's Unai Emery Villa, and we're all celebrating.
Absolutely.
I don't know about you boys, but I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous whatsoever. I don't know about you guys. I'm calm.
Right. It's just up the Villa from me.
Up the Villa, lads. Come on.
And Istanbul.
See you guys soon.
Oh, I'm moving it.